Foreplay podcast. My name's Susan Stark and I'm here today with Doe Harris. Welcome, LD.
Thank you, Susan. Lovely to be here.
I'm going to get you to fully introduce yourself in a moment, but I'm just going to give people a quick snapshot of what FEAST is in case someone's listening that's never heard of us before. So we're the Festival of Embodiment and Sexual Transformation, and we run an annual retreat, which this year is from the 21st to 24th of May, and it's in Northern New South Wales in the hinterland at a beautiful retreat venue. So we've been making these podcasts to give people a little taster and meet some of our facilitators and our elders. So thank you for making this time with us. So LD, do you want to give us a snapshot of what you're currently working on, what you bring into the world through your work or your offerings?
Sure. So I'm in a lovely position of being what I call semi-retired, which means although I have been working previously when I was not retired in somatic sexuology, that's been mostly what I've been offering. I'm now doing that and some other projects which I really enjoy. Within the world of the sexology, my big interests are sexuality and aging. And my own experience is that a lot of the myths around sexuality and aging are exactly that, myths. And we kind of have a cultural acceptance of them, which can influence people's experience. However, I don't feel they need to. So one of the workshops I've been offering in the past few years is called Older, Wiser, Sexier. And it looks at how our sexuality changes, but how that can be even more delicious as we go into our elder years.
Beautiful. Thank you. It's such a valuable offering. And I know in the previous feasts that you've offered some of the little snapshots of that in your workshops.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. I'm also very interested in rites of passage and how a community or a group witnessing us as we move through our stages of life, how much that is supportive in our individual life transitions and how it grows us as a community if we're lucky enough to have a community that works with those moving through different life stages.
So valuable and important work. I can remember the first time I met you, LD. I'm just remembering it was at a women's festival in Mullumbimby, and you had your beautiful yoni cushions and had a big stand there and did a performance for us. So yeah, you bring a lot of years of dedication and wisdom to this work. Yeah. So you've been a part of the FEAST community, well, for our last 3 festivals, and you've got a really important role in our upcoming festivals. Do you want to just talk a little bit about your experiences of FEAST?
Oh, yes. FEAST is one of my favorite times of the year. I would say it's my favorite festival. It holds such a beautiful, safe, contained, inclusive energy. That's, I think, what's so beautiful about it. It is a great venue, especially the new one. And for me, it's an opportunity to catch up with my sexological bodywork community because all of the facilitators are certified sexological body workers. So it's a bit like the hairdresser's picnic for sexological body workers and our annual get together. And it's a joy to see the people who attend. Some have come regularly, some have come for the first time, and it's wonderful to see how they relax, how people relax into the space and become part of this beautiful tribe. And yeah,
Yeah, it's a pretty precious experience, isn't it? And there's
yeah,
so much layers and intentionality of welcoming back people who already been and also welcoming in people who are brand new to the space. And it is such a common thing that we do here is that safe, supportive container that holds us with so much integrity and care.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you play a really pivotal role in that holding. Do you want to talk a bit about the roles that you've taken
yeah,
on?
yes. So I think it was was it last year? The year before last, you both, the coordinators, invited myself and a few others to take on the role of elder within the community. And it was done with a beautiful sense of honoring, which was so precious. And it was also done with a sense of we know we need elders, we have elders, we're still not quite sure what it actually means
Mm.
for you to be an elder. And please, would you work it out and let
Yeah,
us know?
yes. And we're still doing that.
Yes,
I don't know if we'll ever stop doing that, but yes. Yeah.
yes. And I love that because it's very dear to my heart, the inquiry about what it is to be an elder, what is different between being an elder, which has that sense of gravitas, of respect, of someone who is highly regarded within a community. And how is that different from just being old or aged, which does not have those senses at all? In
Mm.
fact, in our culture, we very much sort of dismiss age because tend to be very youth-centered. So the elder role is something I'm really interested to embrace and expand and understand more what that means and what I can offer in that
Mm.
role effectively.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're reminding me of conversations we've had together around our round table with other elders in this feast container. And this inquiry around um, the difference between elder and eldering as a
Mm.
function. And do you want to talk a little bit like what's your perception of eldering in the feast space? What does that actually look like on the ground?
Yeah. Well, I think it's good to say first up that eldering, I see it as a role and it's not an age. It's not something we automatically become capable of eldering. And it's not something we necessarily, although often we do need a few years under our belt to have got to the point where we can offer that wisdom, really, of lived experience. And I think, ancient cultures had elders. They knew who the elders were. They weren't just shutting them away in sort of in institutions. The elders were serving the village
Mm.
by their steadiness, their capacity, their life experience, and just even the fact that they have lived through more and more times of change and trouble, and they've seen what works and what doesn't work.
Mm. Mm.
Um, at Feast, I feel like the qualities I can give to my eldering role is my embodied presence.
Mhm.
my years of working on embodiment that then allow me to be in a space, solid, present, breathing, regulating my nervous system, doing
Mhm.
all the things. Capacity to create boundaries, capacity to tune in and support my own consent and support others in finding theirs,
Mhm.
and just as creating a space of further supporting that space of safety and containment.
Mhm.
But I think there's another important thing, which is that I don't see our role as rescuing or saying this is the way it is.
Mhm.
It's very much about witnessing truthfully what is happening and staying grounded.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. Because at Feast, it's also there's a special, we have a space set up where you hang out um, most of the day, early evenings, and it's a place where people can gather and say nothing. People can gather and have a chat. It's a place of you can come anytime, and that's what I appreciate so much about the eldering at Feast too, is this constant, consistent presence
Mm,
um, and space holding. And I know, Jordan and I utilize that in between festivals a lot, to lean into the elders, to listen, to facilitate our own learning and our own growth. So it's, all those layers of it, so
mm,
important.
mm.
What do you think LD is the benefit to the community? Like, what does this um, bring into the feast container that's unique?
I think it brings a couple of things that immediately come to mind. One is acknowledgement that our um, that erotic maturity is a thing, that our eroticism is not just for us when we're young,
Mhm.
that feeling sexy, being sexy, and having an erotic life continues, can
Mhm.
continue through life into old age, is my view.
Mm.
So I think that's an important piece for Feast to be holding and modeling, especially given that our kind of cultural ideas of sexuality are all about youth and attractiveness, or much of it is about youth and
Mm.
attractiveness.
Mhm.
So I think it's a very strong and important message that we're saying, right, here are our elders in the feast community, and yep, they're still hot in their own sweet way.
Yes. So hot. Not always sweet.
Not always sweet, that's true.
It's well, it's so inspiring, and to have elders that can role model that and show the way. It's really precious, especially like you say, in a culture that's so youth oriented,
Mm,
that we think by the time we hit 50, sex is done, we're
mm,
finished, it's over.
mm, mm, mm.
Yeah.
Sad,
So to
sad.
role model that, and also to show the way, and have workshops that support people with the practices and the skills to do that,
Yes,
so valuable.
yes.
Um, One of the things I love about the feast community too is that huge span of ages. So we have people in their 20s, early 20s, right through to their 70s. And I just love this whole breadth. And there's a lot of older folk in our community. And that's real community for me. Like that's what it should look like. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
So
the other, I
yeah,
think
you go.
there's another piece about why elders are important. I think
Mm-hmm.
at least I think that was what you were asking, is
Yeah.
yes, we're holding the space for people to come however they are. We have the couch that you described. There will always be one or more elders there on the couch, and anyone can show up at any time, and we'll be there. We'll be there to hold space, whether it's provide tissues or have a giggle or be an ear.
Mm,
Um, we're offering love, really. We're
mhm,
offering our love in whatever way feels appropriate for whoever shows up. And it
mhm,
is that, the grandmother, grandfather energy that we're offering. And that's again a little bit missing in our world. Our nuclear
yes.
families don't have the grandparents are elsewhere. We don't have the completeness of
Mm.
having the older folk sharing their love and nourishment.
Yes, yes. And you do that at Feast, and you do that in all the spaces and the organizing and the lead up and the debriefing also, that the elders hold that round table. We do
Mm,
that through our round table and seeking out your support. I'm curious, LD, given what you've just mentioned to the disappearance of eldering and
mm,
elders in our culture, how, and it's a question I have for myself too, like how do we learn? How do we do know what to do in this space when so much of that eldering is missing,
mm,
especially in erotic spaces and especially around sexuality? It's invisible.
mm,
That's my perception. So I'm curious, like, how do you find your way in this role?
mm. Well, I yeah, there are very few signposts.
Mm,
Um, although there are some people who are exploring what does this mean. And I think what I've gleaned from those those people is that it's about for me it's about what is useful in this situation. What have I what have I how can I be of value, of use in this situation, whatever the situation is. And I think that's And also, sometimes it's not the warm, fuzzy grandma vibe at all. It might be some kind of tough love of, I don't know, you seem to be putting a lot of energy into this story. I'm hearing it again and again. What would happen if you just dropped it?
yeah, yeah.
Kind of conversation. And it's not about wanting to be liked. And this is just something I am finding, Susan, as I grow older. I'm just getting clearer. It's almost a necessity that I don't waste my energy on things that do not serve either
Mm,
myself or the situation. So it creates some boundaries that in and of itself, it's like, sorry, I can't be doing with this,
mm,
whatever this is. I'm losing energy and I need to for my own well-being, I need to be careful of losing energy. I think when
yes.
you're younger, you can put out a lot of energy and you can just keep putting it out. The aging process does mean we have to contain our energy, and that means stopping doing or allowing things happening in your environment, which is energy drains.
Mm,
So it's this practice of becoming useful to life, I think
mm,
you could say.
mm.
and using our experience not just to go, oh, I know what to do here, but to go, I think this is what might be useful in this scenario.
Mm.
And also just holding the truth of what is happening without rushing in to fix it.
Mhm.
That's another common way I have operated.
Mhm.
But just having that space, there is a slowing down that happens as we age, and that space can provide value in our rush, rush, progress, progress, grow, grow kind of a world.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
When I'm listening to you, I can hear this real intentionality in also trusting your body and allowing it to lead, and it's showing you a way into eldering. And this distillation, like I have this much time, I have this much energy, and choosing how do I put this to purpose in a way that serves. And respects that person or people I'm supporting to also find their own way. This isn't a role of fixing. And it sounds like that's what you're practicing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What can I offer?
What
I
can
think is
I?
the question. What can I offer in this situation? And then a trust that whatever feels to come up, to
Mm,
be offered, is the right offering right now. I think that's
yes.
how I'm practicing eldering.
Yes. And based on, I imagine, many years of experiences and heartbreak and joy and, trusting this journey of life that you've lived. It
Mm.
just doesn't come from um, an uncontained trust. There's also a knowing that you're
Yes,
bringing into this space.
yes. And I'm still growing. I'm still evolving. I'm still learning. I think if I ever stop doing that, I'm not sure where I'll be, but that is my passion.
Mm.
I never see where I'm at as the end of
Yes.
anything. It's like, oh, and then there's what's happening here and what's happening there.
Mm. Yes.
And that whole sense of my erotic world, which has, well, I've said for several decades now that my erotic experiences are getting better and better.
Mm.
From at 40 it started, and then at 50 it continued, and 60 it continued, and I'm approaching a bigger threshold, which I'm wondering, can I really keep saying this? Because I'm heading towards 70, but it's worked for me so far. So
Yeah.
I may well be able to say gets even better with every decade and continue for that to be the truth.
Mm. I
Yeah.
can remember listening to you. It was a feast workshop a couple of years ago, and you talking about erotic energy is such a source of vitality and vibrancy, and we need that more and more as we get older. So why not cultivate it? And it stuck with me as such a useful piece of
Yeah.
information. Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely. And there is a tradition that I have been studying, which has a whole series of rites of passage that go to almost unimaginable ages. So it assumes the capacity of the body to be well into your hundreds in this tradition. And the rites of passage become more sexual in nature the older you get. And it really is, that is the key, as one imagines,
Mm.
for that real longevity is cultivating one's erotic energy. So watch this
We are
space.
so thankful to have you at Feast and part of our community and eldering and showing the way, and also all the fun you have with us and frivolity. We really appreciate you so much. So thank you. Thank you for sharing on this podcast. Anything else you want to add before we finish?
Come to feast.
Yes, come to feast.
Come to feast.
Yeah.
It's so great. And yeah, it is really a transformative and glorious experience. And we'd love you to be part of the family.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. So on that, tickets, third round tickets are currently open. The first two rounds are sold out, and I think we're over halfway sold. I think most accommodation options are still available. So if you want to grab a ticket, there'll be a link accompanying this podcast episode. Thank you, LD, for your time and sharing
You're
with us.
so welcome, Susan. Thank you for making this all happen.
Our pleasure.